We got Dondre Zell saying, I feel like we should go with the Fields approach and get a running back. The reason I say Fields is because our O-line is an elite.
Lean into it.
No, I don't want that to continue to be the case with the O-line. We've spent way too much and invested too many resources in it.
Deke, when is it going to get better, man? When the dude's going to be healthy, when we're going to get the piece that we paid for? I want the piece that we paid for to know if we actually good or trash up front, bro.
Well, maybe once we fire Pat Meyer, we'll find out.
Are they going to be healthy or not? That's what I need to know.
This is a make or break year for Broderick Jones.
Available or not? Are they available? Are they out there? I want the pieces. This is a make or break
year for Broderick Jones.
Yeah.
Fautano, he was looking good. He's looking promising. I think we should be all right.
Why is
outside
that?
Of left tackle next year.
And why is that?
Because Fautano showed me some promise. I think he's going to be able to play pretty good at right tackle.
Okay.
Mason McCormick looks all right at right guard.
Okay.
Frazier at center, obviously. And Sayamalu, he's on the back end, but yeah, he could give us another decent year at left guard.
So you feel good about them 4 dudes?
Yeah, going into next year, Broderick Jones, the most important position on the offensive line, not so much. But that's what we drafted him to be, and now's the time to find out if he could do that for us.
I like it. Shoot, man, I think we said all right. If you saying 4 out of the 5, we feeling good. All right, man, ain't nothing wrong with that. I like it.
Well,
you said it. I just want to be because you said 4 out of the 5. As long as you said it, it's like I like it, bro. I like it.
Again, if Broderick Jones is getting lit up, then I mean that don't matter.
This is also true.
I'm saying we shouldn't be mid going forward. We shouldn't just be throwing our hands up and like, just because our O-line has been mid over the last year or two, that it's going to be that way going forward, and that's why we got to go with Fields.
Yeah,
I guess it could be part of the equation, but it's like
we don't want that to be
reason. This O-line still should be better.
Yeah,
it should be better.
Based off what we've invested in the room, it should be a lot better.
Exactly.
We thought it would be better this year, and the injuries happened, and we had to play younger dudes, but in those younger guys playing, we felt a lot better about the development of Zach Frazier. We felt a lot better about the development of Mason McCormick. And even though it was a very small sample size, we felt good about what we saw from Troy Fautanu. We still feel like with Sayumalu that right now that's the most consistent dude, or from a pedigree standpoint and stuff like that. We feel really good about him. Yeah, but once again, we boiling back down to the same dude that we've been talking about the past couple of seasons. Is he good enough or not? The excuse has been he's been playing out of position to the point where we're like, yo, we should get rid of that. And it's like, that's fine. But now let's find out what it looks like at his regular position if we put it back at left. Because you said that you felt fine about the other 4, and the other 4 have been having the same dude teach them. But this is the one that we got the question mark still, regardless if he's at right or left. That's my only thing. But that's why I was like, I like the fact that you were saying they were good, because if I said it, then it's like, yo, you on the payroll, you're an apologist. So I'm like, I get it, but from your eyes, you feel like they're good.
Year. They weren't good last year.
So
I'm saying going forward, we're getting a year 2 Mason McCormick.
But I'm asking, like, why do you feel better about them then? Even in year 2, like, what did you see in year 1 that would make you feel optimistic? Like, because when you speak on Russ, you don't feel optimistic about Russ going into year 2 as a whole compared to Fields. Right, like that's been pretty clear.
No, what are we talking about? If I'm talking about winning a Super Bowl, no.
So what we talk about? I thought that's what we talk about for all this. Are we not?
Right. I mean, I'm moving off. I think you're wasting time with Russ. I think he's limited to the degree. And quarterback's the most important position.
Right.
As well.
So I'm saying if you already have that, and you feel like that based on what you saw from Russ this year, and under that same context, you're saying that you looked at Trey Fautanu and you said, "Yo, I like what I saw with him." You said with Mason McCormick, you like what you saw with Mason. You said with Zach Frazier, like we saw with him. You said with Sayumalu. That's what you said. So if this, in terms of Rush, you already feel like isn't it, but you feel like these guys give you a chance to get to that, then it's like, yo.
Well, quarterback again. Quarterback's the most important position.
That's fair, but we also see that protection matters a lot, doesn't it?
I think it's definitely a different conversation that you're having between the two. What are you trying to get at here in terms of like the offensive line versus
No, I'm
Russ?
just saying, like, you feel like 4 of the 5 are good enough for us to win a championship. Or is that not what you're saying then? Because I thought we were saying championship or not.
I'm just saying I feel good about this O-line getting better going into next year.
I like it then.
Like in terms of championship and stuff, that's why we keep talking about quarterback. That's the most important thing.
Absolutely.
So whether the O-line is average or above average, we need the quarterback. We just need the quarterback.
They both matter though. But it's just, it seems a different tone today when you're talking about the O-line compared to when we were just in here on, was that Thursday? And we're doing it,
I'm talking
or
about
Wednesday,
going
we're doing the
forward.
exercise of like, yo, who did you feel good about, pass or fail?
I'm talking
You were
about going
like
forward.
adamant about the O-line being a fail. Whereas I felt like what you're saying right now was what I was saying even then. It wasn't just you, it was multiple people. It was like, yo.
Well, you had Broderick Jones and Dan Moore getting cooked on the sides. So like that's that's part of it.
What am I missing though? But Falatano's been hurt. That was the whole issue of why we said what we said about the O-line.
That's what I'm excited about. I'm a little bit more excited about it going forward, and think it should be better than, like he's saying, mid or below mid. We got Falatano starting right tackle. We spent a first round pick on instead of Broderick Jones being over on that side. Now the issue for next year, that's just going to be, I think, a looming uncertainty over this team this whole offseason is just. Broderick Jones, is he going to be good enough at left tackle? Because even though we're replacing him at right tackle with Falatano, he's moving over to left and he's replacing Dan Moore. And I don't really know if there's a grand solution over there. I think it's just Broderick Jones or bust.
The goods, I'm with you.
Are we gonna draft another tackle? We just spent
no
2
way you
draft
can go
picks.
3 first-round draft picks on tackles and back-to-back. You can't do it, bro.
Can't
do
do that.
it. You can't do it.
I don't really know who's out there. I mean, you could re-sign Dan Moore, but my thing is, what's the point?
What is the point of you doing that? Yeah, that's
what's
why
the
you
point?
drafted
Because Dan Moore didn't have a good season to end or to finish. Yeah, he started off good, but you saw how he finished it up. It's like, all right, we might as well put Broderick Jones out there, the guy we drafted to replace Dan Moore, and see if he can actually live up to his potential, and we'll be paying him less than what we would Dan Moore. I think all signs point to Broderick Jones starting at left tackle.
Don't you love it, bro? I love it, bro. It's just like, oh, all right, I see how we've attempted to fix it. That we kind of got a little bit of a mess on our hands right now, man. I'm just hoping that at least the other 4 positions we feel good about, and we can keep feeling good about that.
Bummed about Daniels, but McCormick played good enough.
I mean,
you got to stick with McCormick.
Would you entertain the scenario of flipping it? I know in your scenario you said McCormick and Sayumalu. What if it was McCormick and Daniels? You let Sayumalu leave.
Daniels at left guard.
No, you keep Daniels at right. You put McCormick at left.
Wasn't McCormick more left in college too?
Yeah. So it's like we've talked about how those dudes, how they play in there. Oh, you're playing them in position, out of position, stuff like that. Do you consider that? Because we felt really good about James Daniels also. Yeah. And he's been our highest paid offensive lineman coming off the Achilles though. Yeah. But granted, his position slightly different than when we're talking quarterback, wide receiver, running backs, or some of the ones where you have a lot more of the in space type of explosion being altered. This is more close quarters, so the hope is that it shouldn't be as challenging for him. And granted, it happened early. Was it second game of the year? Excuse me, was it second or third game?
It was early.
Pretty early in the season when it happened.
So we lost Falatano, and then we lost him shortly after.
Yeah, so the hope is like you'll be getting that back, and it's not like it's, fresh at he's right at the 11-month mark. It's like, no, he should be, hopefully it would pass that, but we got to see what it looks like, man.
Yeah, I don't know if it's worth it considering like the upgrade that you'd be getting from. I don't even know if it would be an upgrade of doing all that. Because
you're basically saying what I'm basically would be. What they'll be trying to figure out is if James Daniels coming off the Achilles is a better player than as Sayumalu is right now after a healthy season.
Yeah.
Because if you feel like he is, then you go with James. But you are going to have to do another contract for James. Because his deal is up. Yeah.
And flip-flopping on the line, which might be better for McCormick.
And he might be cheaper this time around, too, compared to what it would have been pre-Achilles.
You would just cut Sayumalu then, for sure.
Yeah. Because I think he has a year left on the deal, so you're not really going to have a ton of trade options with it outside of we'll do this in like a pick swap type thing, because whoever's getting him, you're only getting him for that, final year.
Yeah.
But I was definitely thinking that if we truly wanted to keep James Daniels, because
I like
we
him.
do feel like James is a good player,
man. It sucks.
Yeah, when you tear the Achilles, and you see a younger guy come in and play well, which McCormick did do.
Right.
This is kind of the decisions that it gets pivoted to.
Especially when you're talking about this O-line trying to be better going forward. I think part of that is having the young guys grow up together.
Yeah.
Like what we did back in the day.
You've
with
heard
Pouncey
Ramon talk about that.
Yeah,
multiple times. Like, let them dudes grow, man. That'll give them a chance to really get locked in. And if they keep doing it the way that they're supposed to, a year, 2 years from now we're looking up and we feel great about this group and we keep them together.